These days, with almost every car maker building what they call supercars, it's easy to become a bit blasé about the term. Perhaps that's why Mercedes has avoided using the label altogether, instead referring to their SLS AMG as a sports car. Marketing ploy or not, the car has created a legend for itself long before most people have even seen it. Now it's finally here, but will it live up to the hype? Its reputation is in part thanks to its iconic predecessor, the original 300 SL of 1952. It was not only that car's racing pedigree that inspired the new one, but also its styling. AMG has a racing history spanning 4 decades, and the SLS's aluminium space frame construction, dry sump lubrication and double wishbone suspension are all rooted in motorsport. So where better to find out how it all comes together than on the racetrack. Retro influences like the oversized grille badge and huge vents aside, it is also a functional design, with the long wheelbase, low slung cabin and wide track helping weight distribution and affording it a low center of gravity.
Now, normally, if you do this in South Africa, you're about to rob a bank. I'm happy to say I probably would need to rob a bank to be able to buy one of these SLS AMGs. Let's see if I can stay on the track.
Thanks to thousands of kilometers of testing, including heat trials in Uppington, high-altitude tests in Lesotho, and top-speed runs at the Nürburgring, the SLS had no trouble handling the twists and turns of Kyalami. And there were expert driving instructors on hand to make sure everyone kept the expensive rubber on the straight and narrow.
You know, what's quite interesting is that, and I've noticed, I've really tried to throw the car around a bit, and it's just so well positioned, you know, with the weight. They've taken the ballast and positioned it so nicely on the front and the rear axle that it's quite difficult to actually get the car out of line.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when you look at the car, you'd think it would be pretty easy to get into an understeer or an oversteer. I can see your cousin Michael Briggs, it's in the family, eh?
Yeah, I tell you what, he used to spend lots of time watching you guys on the track, eh?
On the brake side, that's it, downshift. Keep it neat over here, right on the inside, and then the moment you start bringing the accelerator on, that's it. Give it as much space as possible. Yeah. Beautiful, Morris, very nice.
It's also, you know, your throttle control in a car like this, because the power is instantaneous.
You've got 650 newtons of torque.
You've really got to be very precise on the throttle control. And that's, I suppose, what sets a driver apart. You know, it's very easy, all the driver aids, you know, when it cuts out your throttle, it cuts out everything. It's easy to think you can drive.
And with so much power under your right foot, it's easy to get carried away. The 6.3-litre V8 under the SLS's 2-metre bonnet is the first AMG unit that doesn't share any components with another Mercedes-Benz engine. It boasts advanced features such as a variable intake manifold and vertically arranged intake and exhaust ducts. Of course, the engine also stays true to AMG's one-man, one-engine philosophy, which means that the same engine builder is responsible for everything, from crank assembly to wiring.
A car like this, you've got instantaneous power.
Yeah.
So you don't have to actually keep the RPM up with the left foot either.
Right now, it doesn't feel like an everyday street car, and that's the scary thing, is that you're going to be able to drive this to work.
That's right.
Wow, I see, guys.
I mean, you know, a lot of the comments I had yesterday was the fact that, you know, that was AMG customers that are actually about to receive their SLSs, that they've got out of their Ferraris, but this SLS is very refined. I'm saying, you know, it's giving you the better of both worlds. You can come to the circuit and have an awesome time, but then drive it around every day.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, I think it is so flippin' precise that if you actually do know what you're doing, you're going to be rewarded big time in a car like this if you are a good driver, because it's set up for that. But obviously they've put in the big safety features as well to assist you.
Absolutely. Notice how good it is on the brakes as well.
It's amazing, eh? You see, the thing that I'm quite impressed with is you really have to brake.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to these sort of cars are quite sensitive as you put your foot on the brake, and I hate that because you never really get a feel for the braking space on the car. But this, you've got to, the harder you go, you've got to jump on it, eh?
That's it. And you can do that lap after lap because obviously
Yeah.
the carbon ceramics,
Of
it
course.
allows you, your first couple of laps you've got to generate heat in
Yeah.
to be effective. And after that, you got the same braking pressure all the way,
Yeah.
which is a lot different to the normal steel brakes. I must say, Maurice, I've driven a lot of cars, and I was actually quite mind blown to see what Merc have come up with.
Oh, you were saying to me earlier, I mean, you're getting into, you know what you're doing in your race cars, and you get in here and you're going, wow, I mean, this is a car that Joe Bloggs is going to be able to buy and drive, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Something Joe Bloggs won't be able to buy is the CLK DTM AMG. Loosely based on the 2003 German Touring Car Championship winner, it takes a seasoned professional like Bernd Mailander to get the most from a car like this. Although better known for his exploits as the official Formula One safety car driver, he's also an experienced racer. Having driven most circuits in the world, he reckons Kyalami is a great track with lots of challenging corners.
It probably isn't a better advertisement for a supercar than being the official safety car on the F1 circuits. The driver is with us today, Bernd Mailander. It's for you get to drive the SLS every single day under probably the most pressurized situations.
It's really nice to drive such a nice car for the safety car, and we have done a big step from last year to this year. It's not easy to drive in front of a Formula One field. The good thing is, in that moment you are the leader of the Formula One field, but the reason are it's most of them maybe debris, maybe accident, something like that, or weather conditions, what we had also this year. So you have to drive careful but still really quick, and so that means you're driving nearly 95% of the maximum speed and speed of the car. So you have to be really, really concentrated. You have to look into the mirror. You have to pick up the leader. You have to do everything. What you have to do it right, because million of people are watching you. What's going on? So we get all informations by radio when we have to deploy, when we have to go on the circuit, when we have to go back to the pit lane. So you have to be quite focused on that. What's going on? You have to see everything. So it's a nice job, but different than you're driving a real race by your own. So it's not easy.
This is a supercar for every man.
Absolutely, it's a supercar for every man and for every woman as well. I have to say, when I have done the first test with the SLS last year in November, I was surprised because the handling, it's so easy, it's so quick but still easy. So I will say it's not a beast. Sometimes you have a car, it's quite tricky. We say always it's a beast. But this car, it's still, everything is under control. You have 3 different options with ESP, ESP on, ESP Sport and ESP off. So it's always safe, and that's very, very important, especially for the safety car, because we have to stay safe.
An aircraft design theme runs throughout the cabin, inspiring elements like the air vents and the E-shift gear lever, while the high waistline and broad center console also enforce that cockpit feel. Standard features like park distance control, rain sensors and heated seats make the SLS a comfortable everyday companion, and there are plenty of handy storage spaces scattered around the interior. So is it a supercar? Well, that will depend on how it fares against its would-be rivals. That it is a superb car is undeniable, but most importantly, it is a car worthy of the Gullwing name.